Hey y'all, welcome to another episode of
Oodles of Oodles.
Today we are taking a look at Unexpected Traumatic Experiences by Infected Humans. This is Infected Humans' first album. They are a three-piece band from Ecuador. And quite frankly, before getting this album, I didn't know any metal bands from Ecuador whatsoever. According to Metal Archives, there's like 490, metal bands in Ecuador. I didn't know any of them. And I gotta say, that's one thing that's really cool about people sending me shit in the mail is that I get exposed to stuff that I never even knew existed. I had no idea Ecuador had a metal scene. When I think of South American metal, of course, my mind automatically goes to Brazil, home of Sepultura, Sarcophago, and tons of other cool bands whose names start with S. But anyway, back to Infected Humans. As I mentioned earlier, these guys are a three-piece band, and I fucking love power trios, so again, just another reason for me to be excited to listen to these guys. There's just something special about making as much sound as possible with as few musicians as possible. Love the power trio format, and these guys certainly deliver. They are a brutal death metal band with some slam influence, and man, this album is it's filthy, it's grimy, it's raw, it's hungry, it's ramshackle. This is just some wicked, raw, underground, brutal death metal. This kind of stuff is right up my alley. Like I said earlier, I was not familiar with these guys. When I put this on, I was just pleasantly surprised by what came out of my speakers. This thing is so filthy, I felt like I had to take a shower after I listened to it, but it's certainly a feeling I want to revisit over and over again with this. This is out on Gore House Productions, and what's interesting about this album to me is that, yes, it's a brutal death metal album, yes, it has some slam influence, but it also has some influence from outside brutal death metal, and I think a lot of what we're seeing right now is brutal death metal bands that are only influenced by other brutal death metal and slam bands. But with Infected Humans, that is not the case.
Some of the riffs on this album almost have a black metal feel to them, which I thought was really cool and mixed well with their sound. I've seen other bands advertise themselves as Blackened Slam or Blackened Slam or Blackened Brutal Death Metal, and I don't hear any black metal influence whatsoever. These guys definitely have some black metal riffs happening.
And not only that, but there's also, I think, probably a bit of almost a sludge influence on this album. Some of the tempos get really slow, the production's really murky and gnarly sounding. So it's cool to see a brutal death metal band incorporating those other styles and doing it so well that it still comes off as a pure brutal death metal album, but yet there's these other things going on with it that just make it really stand out to me. Not only that, but they even exhibit a little bit of an experimental side, particularly on the song Chaotic Biological Organization. There's just some really interesting things happening musically on that song, and I don't want to spoil it for anybody, so I would just say go out, pick this up, and listen to it, or grab it on Bandcamp or whatever it is you want to do. Also, the outro on this album, there's an intro and the outro. The intro is pretty standard, kind of dark ambient sounding stuff, but the outro gets really weird and experimental. And, between Chaotic Biological Organization and that outro there at the end, I hope that going forward they
Have another drink, Josh, have another drink.
I hope that going forward they incorporate more of that into their music, because I think these guys already have a ton of potential. They've been around since 2009, but are just now getting around to putting out their full-length debut. They have a ton of potential, but I think they could build on it and do even more, especially, like I said, with those experimental tendencies they exhibit. And another thing about this album, guys, it just has some really delightfully bizarre lyrics. These guys are just wizards with words as far as I'm concerned. I love what they've done. Sometimes the lyrics get really weird and abstract and kind of hallucinatory. Just a couple examples here from Interstellar Torture, a passage I really liked a lot. New genetic limbs will emerge in the bowels of our heirs. Interstellar space will get fucking infected. Human carrying his apocalypse man by colonizing new worlds.
What the hell, man? What were these guys smoking when they wrote these lyrics?
And then on calcining human flesh, there was another passage I really liked a lot. Here it is. To the point of licking the ass, to ideas that nullify your beliefs. Movieling, the threads manipulated by heinous, implemented hostile decrees that attacked President Shit. So there you go. That's, yeah, President Shit. That's right. We just got over President Shit here not too long ago. There's so much awesomeness happening with this album that I just can't get over it. I think the sky is the limit for these guys. If you're down with brutal death metal, if you're down with slam, if you're down with pingy snare sounds, if you're down with murky, disgusting, filthy, putrid production values, if you just want to hear a lean, mean, hungry band going at it, doing their thing, this is definitely the album to get so far in 2021. Gore House Productions has been on fire with their releases for a while now, and again, this is just another excellent release from Gore House. This is Infected Humans. The name of the album is Unexpected Traumatic Experiences. And so I just want to say, this is definitely one of the early highlights for me in 2021 as far as brutal death metal goes. And I want to say thanks to Gore House Productions for continuing to send me stuff. It's greatly appreciated. And thank you to Infected Humans, not only for releasing an excellent brutal death metal album, but also introducing me to a whole another world of metal. Again, I had no idea Ecuador had, what they had for a metal scene, and now I have all these bands to explore. So, I love learning about other metal scenes, and something like this just goes to show that the language of metal is universal. So, until next time, guys, thanks for watching and take care.